Can you hear me? Yes, you can.
Hey, bitch. What's up, sister? Missed you. Oh, I need some. What kind of music we want tonight? Bitch of a book. I can't do no heavy metal. That's what it calls. If I can handle anything. It won't last long. Let's see. What about some classic rock? Probably regret this. Hey, Vincy Lou Who. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't want to wait any longer. So, yeah, you may come to in. Woo! Here comes the yawns. Yeah, I'm going. So I'm gonna need it. All right, here we go. I, Emma Wade, love pizza. Any and all pizza. It is literally the best food ever, which is probably why I was so antsy that I didn't have pizza in my life right at that second. It felt like I'd been waiting for my delivery a million years. Okay, that was a slight over exaggeration, but hey, I was hungry. While I was waiting and wasting away from starvation, poured another glass of red wine into my mug. I'd unfortunately broken all my wine glasses and hadn't had a chance to buy any more. So mugs would have to do. To be fair, it wasn't like it was a good red wine that needed to be decanted and then served in a particular wine glass. It was a cheap house red that had been in the back of my pantry for a while, but it would have to do. And today, I needed wine and pizza. And if I'd have had any in my kitchen, all the chocolate and ice cream I could get my hands on. I had been wallowing alone in my tiny little studio apartment, trying to figure things through in my head and establish just what the hell was going on in my life. How was my life how had my life become so screwed up and crazy so damn quickly? I was working, and therefore I wasn't working, and therefore not getting any money whatsoever. Thankfully, I had savings, so I could sustain my existence for a little while until I figured out what to do. I desperately wanted to go back to O'Malley's. I'd worked there for years. It was my home away from home. pick up where I left off, but unfortunately, it was still closed. After Jerry, the owner, had been killed in a robbery gone wrong, his widow hadn't been able to bring herself to deal with his affairs, which included the bar. So I was currently unemployed. I can get another job elsewhere, but I loved O'Malley's. So I hung on, waiting to get a call telling me I could go back to work. Realistically, though, I could only wait so long before jumping ship. As a result of not working, I'd had to be more and more careful with my money. Granted, I probably shouldn't have ordered a pizza, but I'd sacrificed by drinking cheap wine that tasted an awful lot like vinegar. I was, after all, spending my Friday night alone, so treating myself to a pizza was deserved in my opinion. Things had been a little off since Jerry's death, and since my best friend Tess had met her new beau Luke, I was a little jealous that she had her shit together, but I didn't begrudge her happiness. Anyone deserved it, it was Tess. If I called her right now to talk through all the stuff going on in my head, she'd drop everything to help me. Our paths had first crossed when she'd stumbled into O'Malley's late one night, flustered and in desperate need of both alcohol and a friend. Been there, done that. She moved across the globe from London to settle and make a new life for herself in New York. And we'd fallen into an easy friendship and had soon become besties. Now, I couldn't imagine my life without her in it. Tess was balanced and cautious. You could say she was a calming influence on me, and in return, I pushed her to try new things and expand her horizons. If it weren't for me, she and Luke would never have gotten together. Tess would never have taken the plunge without a little encouragement, which, Lord have mercy, what do I have an alfalfa streak for? Sorry about that. This is room dried hair, so my curls are showing. See? Sorry. Which would have been a shame, as Luke seemed like a really good guy. Not to mention he was mighty fine and loaded. When it came to men, Tess and I were at opposite ends of the spectrum. Before Luke, she'd been cautious and closed off, not dating at all. I, on the other hand, was an open book. I liked men and sex and everything that came with it, and I indulged often. Normally, I dealt with that side of my life like a champ, but one of the current issues in my life just so happened to be a man mountain by the name of Levi, who also happened to be Luke's best friend. I'd met Levi at a party at Luke's swanky New York home about 5 months ago, and my life had been turned on its head ever since. However, now it'd been a week or so since I'd seen him, or heard from him, in fact. I told him I needed a little space. I know it, right? Since our first meeting at Luke's party, Levi had been a commanding presence in my life, and I wasn't used to it. See, the indulgence party is there's men, not the same men every time. Men and sex. I didn't say that out loud, did I? At first, it had been sexy as hell and a massive boost to the ego to be the sole and unwavering focus of someone else's desires. Yet, I'd never really experienced anything like it before, so I sometimes felt a little stifled by the attention. Don't get me wrong, we had an undeniable connection. And at first, it had been sexy as hell. Let's see, where did I get to? I lost. Don't get me wrong, we had an undeniable connection, and the sex was mind blowing. But I hadn't really had any serious relationships before. I'm a free spirit who doesn't like to be tied down, and I also like my own space, which was something that had been lacking in my life since Levi had burst onto the scene. Good tunes, check. Good wine, check. Comfy clothes, check. God, this is just what I need. The only thing that would make this better would be my musings were cut short when I heard the distinctive chime of my phone, so I scooted across the couch to grab and answer it. I saw Tess's name on the screen. Hey, Tess, everything all right? Of course, Em. Just wanted to check in and see how you were getting on. It feels like I haven't seen you in weeks, she said with a sigh. Today is Friday and you saw me for coffee on Monday. Is Chelsea in a different time zone? Is Luke there now? No, he can't be. Otherwise, he'd be subdued by orgasms. Oh my God, you're ridiculous. He is good with the orgasms, though, she replied before giggling. Did I show you guys my little one? Look, it's my little calmer. Calms me. I haven't named it yet, though. For her. I haven't decided. Nothing's come to me yet. I've had her for weeks. I keep calling it a her. Oh my God, you're ridiculous. He is good with the orgasms, though, she replied before giggling. It's just that with the bar being closed, I don't get to see you as much. Plus, I've been pretty busy with work and Luke's cock. I interrupted. Hell yeah, that as well. But I miss you. Things are a little different now, but that doesn't mean I don't have enough time for you. Oh, I'm sorry. She was supposed to be British because she came here from London, didn't she? All right. Well, I'm on to that last one. Well, yeah, that as well, but I miss you. Things are a little different now, but that doesn't mean I don't have enough time for you. Does that even sound even close to British? Or does it sound like a mixture of Portuguese and South Africa? I could tell she felt guilty. I could tell she felt guilty about us not seeing each other, but I held no grudges. She was at the start of a new relationship with an amazing guy, and I was glad the two of them were enjoying their time together. It just so happened that at the same time, Tessa's life was all falling into place. Mine seemed to be going in the opposite direction. Hey, Billy! Tess, I know you're always there for me. To be fair, I'd love to see you try to ditch me. Oh, wait. Oh, that was Tess. All right. That was Emma speaking. Sorry, I'm getting my characters mixed up. Tess, I know you're always there for me. To be fair, I'd love to see you try to ditch me. When it comes to our friendship, I'm a stage 5 clinger. I'm with you for life. It's just that things are a little off at the minute. But I'm hoping that everything will pick up. Really, really hope. Any word from Sheeta about reopening the bar? Tess asked, her voice filled with sadness because she'd been a regular at the bar. Tess had been close with both Jerry and his wife. Jerry's death had hit her hard, as she'd been the last person to see him alive. Not yet, but there's only so long I can wait. My savings has taken a major hit, so if Sheila doesn't open in the next 2 weeks or so, I'm going to have to look elsewhere. Even though it would break my heart, I didn't want to work anywhere else. I'd started at O'Malley's when I was 20. I'd grown up there, figured out what I wanted to do with my life there, and I was trying not to think about the possibility it might not reopen. The job wasn't for everyone, but it was for me. And more importantly, I was good at it. I could chat and flirt with people. I had regulars that came to see me and chatted with me about their lives. Some even shared their problems. It was never about just serving drinks. It was so much more than that. It sucks, Em, but you have to do what's best for you. I know you'll say no, but I just wanted, Lord, I hope Jody don't come on tonight. She'll make fun of me. I mean, Karen's probably already crying over there. I heard her sigh down the line. You're so stubborn. I wouldn't be giving it to you. It'd be a long. Oh, don't, Tess. I don't need to borrow any money. I'm not broke yet. And before that happens, I'll find something else. I'm fine. Stop worrying. I heard her sigh down the line. You're so stubborn. I wouldn't be giving it to you. It'd be a loan, and if it makes you feel better, I'll add a ridiculously high interest rate just to sweeten the deal. Wow, you're so generous. Thanks, I replied sarcastically. Seriously though, I'm fine. It's just another one of those many things I need to add to my list of shit that needs sorting. I'm going to venture that another entry on that list is figuring out what to do about a giant piece of man flesh. Tess said. Red, are you talking about me again? I heard Luke's voice. Oh, Red, are you talking about me again? I heard Luke's voice through the other end of the line, then heard Tessa's responding giggle. Geez, mute your end, please. I don't need to hear you two sucking face. Sorry, Em. Luke, Luke wasn't supposed to be home this. Hey, Emma. Luke shouted across the line. Hi, Luke. I responded. I heard whispering and figured it was about time I ended the call so the lovebirds could spend some time together. Tess, I'm going to go so you two can. Nope, Luke can wait. I heard Luke mumble something about Tess. The Tess spoke again. Seriously, Luke, you can pout all you want. I'm talking to Emma. Emma, go and I'll come find you when I'm done. I heard her say. Are you sure, Tess? I asked. Yes, you need me more than he does right now. So about Levi, what's going on there? I let my head fall back against the couch cushions, and a deep sigh left my mouth. Wow, like that, huh? She said, and I could hear the uncertainty in her words. Just weird. I don't really know how else to describe it. We met, what, 5 months ago, which is probably the longest I've stuck with anyone. Yet I feel like I don't know anything about him. We have this crazy connection when we're together, and the chemistry is undeniable, but something just feels off and I can't put my finger on it. Off how? Like he's keeping something from you? Or are you keeping yourself at arm's length? She probed. It was hard to put it into words. It was just this intense emotion at the very heart of Levi me. Whether it was a good thing or bad thing, I hadn't yet been able to figure out. It's just so intense. I honestly think that if I go down this rabbit hole with him and it doesn't work out, then what, him? What is it? She urged. I don't think I can recover from it. I think it might just ruin me. I meant it. Saying it out loud was a moment of clarity, and I finally seemed to be putting the pieces together. If I carried on with whatever Levi and I were doing, I'd never be the same again. If we pursued whatever connection we had and it all turned to shit, I wasn't sure I'd ever be complete again. In my very bones, I felt that Levi had the power to break me. So I had to decide if I was willing to give him that power. But he could be just what you need, Em. You've said it too. You've said the two of you have a crazy connection, and that you've never felt like this before. Before. So why not explore it? Rather than breaking you, he could give you everything you want. Isn't that worth taking a chance on? She asked. I wasn't sure. Don't quit laughing. That was why I'd asked him for some space to get my thoughts straight. The only thing was, when it came to Levi, I was having trouble gathering anything. Whenever I thought about the whole thing, it all just seemed to get more complicated and jumbled up. A million thoughts raced through my head, and I tried to work through all of them, but that was clearly going to take too long. Em, are you still there? Tess asked, her tone soft and gentle. Yeah, I'm here. I just don't know, Tess. My life is literally up in the air right now, and I'm struggling to wade through all the shit and get to what matters. Our conversation was cut short by a knock on my door, which caused me to squeal. Unfortunately for Tess, the squeal was directly into the phone. Ow! Em, what the hell? Tess hissed. Sorry, babe. My pizza's here. Finally. I've got to go and grab it. Can we catch up soon, please? I can head over to Luke's place and help you drink all of his fancy wine. Text me and we'll arrange it. This conversation isn't over, and I feel like wine might help things along, she said with a laugh. I'm in. All right, I love you, but pizza's more important right now. Bye. I was pulling the phone away from my ears. I heard her say charming before laughing and hanging up. With far too much of a spring in my step, I shouted, coming! Before grabbing my purse off the kitchen counter and bounding over to my front door with glee. I opened the door without even looking, too busy digging through my purse for cash, and asked, what took you so long? But instead of some stoner pizza delivery guy's voice, a deep, rich, familiar tone greeted me. Emma. My eyes slowly traced up his body before finally fixing on his sexy as sin face. Levi. Chapter 2. Coming! I heard her shout through the door. Damn! Even the sound of her voice was sexy as hell, and my body took notice immediately. The familiar tingle in my cock had me trying to calm my flustered mind, and I had to adjust my tiny pants. You shouldn't be here. She wants space, which is not what this is. But I couldn't help myself. This woman affected me in ways only one other ever had. That was why I knew there was some sort of connection between the two of them. Not just a connection. It was something more than that. I was sure of it. I could hear her shuffling around in my apartment. Woo, here we go. Goes the yawns. I could hear her shuffling around in her apartment, and my heart beat faster when I heard her move closer to the door and unlock it. It swung open, and my breath caught in my chest. She wasn't even looking at me, but just the sight of her petite frame, clothed in a pair of cut-off shorts and a tank top, made goosebumps erupt across my skin. It had been a week or so since I'd seen Emma, and I hadn't been able to wait any longer. I knew that I was going against what she asked me, but I just had to see her. I watched as she rummaged through her purse in front of me, still not looking up. What took you so long? She asked, still paying no attention to me until I said her name. Then slowly, her eyes scanned up my frame until her gaze met mine, and I could see her chest heaving as her breathing increased. There was no doubt that I wasn't the only one feeling her connection. Levi, what, what, uh, what are you doing here? She almost whispered. I had to see you. I took a step towards her to enter her apartment, but she stopped me with a hand in the air. Wait, stop. Where do you think you're going? She questioned, having found her voice again. I'm coming in. The hell you are! I told you I needed some time. You can't just turn up uninvited like this. Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Let me in and I'll say what I have to say. If you still want me to go after that, I will. I just need 5 minutes, sweetheart. I said, watching her intently. 5 minutes? Then you'll go? Exactly, bitch. Letting me in. I said soothingly. If that's what you just if that's what you want, I said soothingly and took he can get me off in 5 minutes. If that's what you want, I said soothingly and took another step towards her so that her outstretched palm came into contact with my chest. The touch, her touch, was warm and the heat of her palm radiated through my t-shirt. My cock tingled again, just like it did every single damn time I touched her or was around her or had seen her over the last 5 months. She pulled her hand back and stepped out of the way to let me enter her tiny apartment. I had to duck my head down and squeeze myself through her doorway to avoid bumping into her, then continued on into her living space. Emma's place was small and compact, with an open plan living, dining, and kitchen area, tiny bathroom, and a really small bedroom. For Emma's 5'2" frame, it was perfect, but for someone like me, it was a squeeze. I could squeeze. A few different play parts that could squeeze. The TV was on, and she had some cheesy music channel playing that was apparently showing classics from Emma's teenage years. A few lit candles were on her coffee table, and as I breathed in deeply, the familiar aroma of Emma brought my senses even more alive. It was a sweet and heady or heady smell, a mix of jasmine and vanilla, and I became lost in it before I heard her speak. You have 5 minutes. Use them wisely, she said as she closed the apartment door before turning around to face me. She didn't move, instead choosing to stay close to the door to keep her a little distance between us. Can we at least sit down? I urged. I didn't really want to do this with this much distance between us. I wanted her close. I needed her close. Nope, here's fine. She pushed her back against the door as if she was willing herself to stay still and strong. Okay, well, I just wanted to. I was interrupted by a knock at the door. Emma's response was to jump out of her skin and curse at the surprise. Without another word, she turned and opened the door. Hey, Emma. Sorry it's late. It's been crazy busy tonight. I managed to snag you some free dips as an apology. Don't tell everyone, though. I only do it for my favorite customers, said a guy wearing a blue jacket and red baseball cap. He smiled at Emma, winked, and then outstretched a pizza box toward her. Let's nip this interruption in the bud, shall we? I stepped towards Emma, who still had her back to me, and reached over her to take the pizza from the guy, who looked to be in his mid-20s. In doing so, I pushed the front of my body against Emma's back. I wanted this guy to see we were close. I felt her body tense, but my focus was on the delivery guy, who seemed a little too familiar with her. Thanks, man. How much do we owe you? I asked but before he could answer, Emma spoke up. I've got it. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate the extra dips, but just make sure this doesn't become a regular thing, okay? I prefer my pizza on time, and I'd hate to have to go somewhere else, she replied teasingly, then handed over the cash. I watched as the pizza guy didn't move. Instead, his eyes flitted between me and Emma and then back again. Anything else we can do for you? I asked impatiently. He shook his head and then smiled at Emma. See ya, Emma, he said before turning and walking back towards the stairs, casting the occasional glance back in our direction. Bye, Nick, Emma replied with a wave. Not waiting around, I moved back into Emma's living space, put the pizza box on the table, and then moved to sit on her couch. What the hell was that? Emma asked, clearly pissed at something. It wasn't just something, though. I knew exactly what it was. She clearly hadn't enjoyed my little display, and she was about to tell me about it. Nick has been delivering pizzas to me for years. He's a good guy. There was no need for whatever that was, she scolded. Geez, I'm surprised you didn't just piss all over the floor to mark your territory. Actually, I'm surprised you didn't just try to fuck me in front of him. The only person who gets to see what your face looks like when you come is me, I grumbled. I watched as her cobalt blue eyes pierced my own and her breathing once more became rapid. Why the hell did you come here, Levi? What did you want to tell me? She asked quietly, some of her bluster now gone. I know you wanted some space and time to figure things out, but I missed you and I really wanted to see you. Please come and sit down. I held one of my hands toward hers, willing her to come join me. She studied me for a moment, but eventually patted towards me and took my hand as she sat down next to me on the couch. I've missed you too, big guy, but I just need to sort through things in my head. So much has changed in such a short time. And I feel like I don't know my ass from my elbow. What with losing Jerry and the bar closing, having no job and no money, and all that topped off with whatever this is I just feel a little scattered. All I'm asking for is time, Levi. She sounded lost, and it made me feel guilty that I was pushing her. I realized I might be the cause of her stress, yet I couldn't help myself. I shuffled towards her, and she didn't back away, so I took her hands in mine. Hey, I'm here to help you, not be a cause of problems for you. I know that since we've met, things have been pretty intense, she interrupted with a wry smile. Yeah, intense. But why is that a bad thing? I'm enjoying getting to know you. I know things have been tough, and it hasn't been the best timing to start something new, but I'd really like to just take our time and build on what we already have. I lifted my hand to cup her jaw and stroke her cheek with the pat of my thumb. Her skin was soft and smooth, and she flushed at my touch. Don't make me leave. Let me stay, I whispered as I leaned in to place a gentle kiss on one side of her mouth. Let's just not overthink this and see where it goes. No pressure. I continued before placing another kiss on the other side of her mouth. But we hardly know each other. It's been 5 months and we're practically strangers, she said, but then started to moan as I tilted her face to the side and planted kisses along her throat. We're not strangers, and we can get to know each other. Isn't that what dating is? Finding out everything about the other person and becoming becoming someone they can depend on? I want that, sweetheart, I said as I skated my tongue across the shell of her ear before nipping at it. She moaned again, and this time her head fell back to give me better access to the tender flesh on display. Okay, she whispered breathily. Okay. Okay, as in we're going to give this a go? I asked. We are, she agreed. With that, I grabbed her hips and dragged her body on top of mine, so she was straddling me, and the swell of her breast was right in my face. I leaned forward and sucked one of her nipples into my mouth through the fabric of her tank top. She hissed and arched her back, pushing her nipple further into my mouth. I nipped at it before pulling away. I'm going to fuck you now. It's been over a week since I felt that sweet pussy of yours wrapped around my cock, so you better believe I'm going to take my time with you. I've heard. Oh, I don't know. I can't do this next one. It's too long. So we're gonna stop there. This is Wrath, Guardians of Sin, Book One by M.L. Montford. What was it? Oops, I just screwed that up. Montford. Mountford? Mountford, I guess. Okay, So that is all I'm going to read of that. Oh, it picks up really, really good in chapter 3, y'all. I mean, it's the whole sex scene. So it's free on KU. So go get it. And the cover is just hot as sin. So yeah, go get it. Um, Fancy, you're so silly. My test voice was horrible. As I said, I'm glad Jody wasn't on here. Tomorrow night there will not be a live read because the author hasn't gotten back with anybody. So, only got one tonight. So, which is good because I'm so tired. I had both my boys yesterday, Jax and Jace. Jace had been sick, had the 24-hour bug before that. And so yesterday he was wired for sound. I mean, he was all over the place. But he's also my nap child. So he's laying here on the floor fussing at me about something on his tablet. And I was trying to fix it on my phone. Anyway, for my phone, I was trying to fix his tablet. So he's talking to me, and I look over there, and he's sound asleep. He went to sleep in the middle of our talk. So, y'all, the cover is hot. Did you do that one? I did that cover. She don't have it on there. She don't have anybody on there. Oh, did any of those are acknowledgements at the end. Josiah Davis did her editing. The amazing cover was designed by the brilliant Danielle Doolittle of Duell Designs. Duell Designs, I think. And then that was Jace that went to sleep right in the middle of my conversation with him. And then Jax ends up, he has hand, foot, mouth disease. Is that how that goes? His whole face is just broke out, and he's got some places on his arms and one on his foot. And every time I think about it, I start scratching. He just looks so pitiful. I don't have it, but it just makes my whole body scratch and itch because I had chicken pox that looked like that. I had poison ivy on my face that looked like that. It just all makes me look. But yeah, he ended up with it, and then there's a staph infection that goes with it because and fungiolitis or something like that. And so it looks really bad because he scratched it, especially during his sleep and stuff. So say a prayer for him. But yeah, so I guess I will. Next live read will be 2023. Whoop whoop. All right, ladies, have a wonderful night. Miss Mountford, if you hear this, thank you for letting me read. I appreciate that. And I guess I will see you all in the new year. Happy New Year and happy reading.